Do you worry that you may remove something from someplace public like that, that's a public haunt, where the ownership might get really, really ticked off at you and try to sue you?
No.
Because I know they can't prove that you did anything.
See, they can't prove one way or another. They can't prove it. They can't prove its existence, and they can't prove that I removed it.
Isn't that great?
The thing is, if there's something there that's good and is, wants to stay there, and the people that own the building or whatever approve, then I just leave it alone. I played the go-between, and I talk to them both, and and arrange a meeting of the mind, so to speak. I've done that before, and that's fine. I don't mind, but demons don't need to be down here. They don't need to be attacking people. They don't need to attach themselves to people and ruin their lives. When you got a demon attachment, it takes care of every aspect of your financially, emotionally, medically. They ruin everything. Your mental health, everything. They just drag you down.
Is there ever a case where you could have a location that's haunted by something dark but something good, and because it's balanced, there's no problem?
See, now Ariel doesn't see it that way. She sees every demon as a removal. She's her job is to get them out of the physical world. They need to not be there. There was a case I was in on where I actually did a minor exorcism of a person, and I gave the lesser demon, I gave it a chance. I said, listen, if you want to go back into the light, I said, I can call Jesus and ask if he will take you home. I said, if that's what you want. And so, I had my two friends with me, one that was the minister and the other one, and so I called Jesus, and they're standing in front of me, and they both kind of move aside as this big arm comes out, and it's just like filled with light and love, and it reaches out towards the demon. But the demon was afraid to take it. And I'm like, okay, if you don't want that, I said, so Jesus left. And I said, okay. I said, you're hiding out from Lucifer. I said, well, let me call Lucifer. So I asked for Lucifer to come, and my friends both saw him coming down the hallway. Said it was like blacker than black, and he had a humanoid figure, and they couldn't look at him. It hurt their eyes to look at him. And he came and he told the lesser demon, I'm going to take you out. You need to come. And it refused. So Lucifer looked at me and said, I'll be back for it. And he disappeared down the hallway. And then exactly at 3 a.m., all three of us woke up in our respective beds and heard the words, "It's done." And the woman hasn't had any problems since then.
In the chat, you missed it. Brenda said, "Can you imagine the judge's face on that case when they tried to sue you?"
Oh yeah, that'd be funny as anything.
Yeah. We're giving everyone a lot of visuals tonight.
Yeah, the trouble is you'd have to prove it one way or another, and unless they can prove it, it's a moot point. Nobody can take it.
One of the things that one of my friends always says is that she hates is that, a lot of times paranormal teams will go into a location and the first thing they'll say is it's a demon. And then we all have to spend our time proving either that it's not or right. Attempting to get rid of it.
Exactly.
And when they run out screaming.
Yeah. And they think that automatically if it does bad things, if they get scratched or whatever, then it's automatically a demon. But that's not true. There are earthbound negatives, people that were nasty in life and they're nasty in death. and they cause a lot of problems. They can show themselves as a 7-foot shadow person because that's how they want you to perceive them. They look into your mind and they make you see them as they wish to be perceived. I see them. I see through all that. So I see them as they are. Ran into a case where the guy was a short, fat, balding guy who never got any respect in life. So he was showing himself as a 7-foot tall shadow person. I'm like, really? Bugger off, man. I got your number. I said, you need to leave. So I got rid of him, but I'm like, really? You don't have to be that way. You don't have to show yourself that way.
Back to a supernatural.
Yeah.
You know, the reason that Crowley became a demon was for 3 inches. You know, it just makes you laugh.
Yeah.
Get scratched all the time.
Ron asked, whatever. A lot of times when we go to a location, I get scratched. Doesn't seem to matter what location. If they say, "Oh, we're here in a location where men get scratched, women don't usually," but lo and behold, Denise gets scratched. Or we're in a location where they say, "Well, women aren't usually allowed in this area."
About one there, no one's ever been scratched.
Or even a place where no one's ever been scratched, I get scratched.
Yeah, you know, an Earthbound can do that too, to say, hey, I'm here, pay attention, get the hell out of my house, you know, and they will do it to you. It doesn't have to be a negative. They can, you know, and because you've told the story, you know, that everybody gets scratched that comes in here, they read your mind and they can say, oh, okay, so I need to scratch this dude to prove that I'm still here.
So you think that there's some validity to the repeated story? Yeah,
there can be validity, especially if, you know, there were people at one time, you know, if you're pissing them off by coming into their house or whatever and trying to invade their space, they're going to get upset about the whole thing. You know, if somebody came into your house and said, you need to leave, or why don't you just jump up and down to prove to me that you're here? I mean, you get a little pissy about it.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, it's the same thing with them. They were all people at one time.
Actually, I guarantee any of my paranormal friends, should they die, I guarantee they're going to be doing more than jumping up and down to prove that they exist as spirits. I bet you they're going to be doing things that's going to really be proven something. You know, like me and my mom had a word, and I told her if she ever came to me to tell me that word. And I've heard the word twice, so I know that she's there. But you know, she's around, and I know it. But Carl, thank you, Carl, so much for the questions. He wants to know, do you know anything about imps?
Yeah, they're kind of like elementals. They just kind of, you know, they're very curious. They like to play practical jokes, and they like to bug people. I ran into them when I was in Scotland a year ago. They're funny.
Can they also be doing some of the bidding for the devil?
No, not really.
Because we've had some that have bit people.
Yeah, they're tricksters. Like elementals will do that. You piss them off, and they'll do more than bite you. Yeah, they have their own agenda. So, if minions now, and I don't mean the yellow guys.
Yeah, I know.
Love, they, you know, the minions fall into the category of pain in my butt. They're the creepy crawly things that crawl up the walls and the ceilings, and they show themselves as spiders and all kinds of creepy thingies. And then, of course, you have the shadow people. Those are all minions of the lesser and old demons.
So, everyone, I want you to get ready for a short break here. We here need to take a short one. And so you guys go get your drink of water, whatever. And this is our last break of the night. So if you have any outstanding questions, this is the time to get them in the chat. or if you're in the room in the peanut gallery, you need to get them ready, and come back to WBHM Digital Broadcasting out of Birmingham, Alabama, and we'll be back.
Listening to WBHM Digital Broadcasting, the best in paranormal talk, only on Paranormal Experienced Radio, broadcasting live out of Birmingham, Alabama.
Welcome back to the Paranormal Pride, everyone. I hope that you guys have been enjoying June Lundgren. She has been amazing tonight, and I've been having a lot of fun talking to her and letting my whole family see how I do this all the time. I'm going to go back and clean up a question here in the chat. It's from Brenda Holmes. She asks, I may have missed this, but does June believe that some souls are sent right back with tasks to perform, especially if they fail to accomplish it the first time? She means ordinary people, not angels.
Yeah, some people will. It's all about free will. If the person wants to come back right away, then they can come back, but they're not forced to. It's up to them entirely. It's kind of like my husband. Was born in 1945.
Mm-hmm.
He's always had an absolute fear of drowning, and never in his life has he had any kind of near drowning or anything. His mom said. So he had one day, about 10 years ago, he had a dream 3 nights in a row. He was on the Arizona, and he was walking through water like you walk through air. And the big topic of conversation is, why didn't they come for us? Because, they entombed those men down there below decks. They all died. He says, then I'm up on the monument, and I'm running my finger down, and I find my name, and I wake up. He said, but I can't remember the name. He said, can you get me a list of the men that died on the Arizona? It's like 18 pages worth of names.
Right.
And I said, okay. So I gave it to him. He says, this is it, page 13. He's like, this is who I was. This is a man who can't, if you can't touch it, feel it, or see it, it doesn't exist. So he said, this is who I was. And the name on it was Raymond Arthur Roby. I named my son after my grandfather, Ray Arthur Palmer. No such thing as coincidence. So he was, the Arizona was sunk in 1941, and he came back in 1945, was reborn in 45. So that's really, on the other side, that's quick. It's almost like a immediate turnaround.
I swear sometimes that I think my grandmother was reborn into my daughter Lindsay, because there are things that she says that my grandmother would have said. There's things that she does that makes me want to knock the crap out of her, just like I would have wanted to knock the crap out of my grandmother. So, and
She
my
may very